What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the WBC Heavyweight World Championship, and this fight is going to be Saturday, October 9th, from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on ESPN Plus and Fox Pay-Per-View, and to get into both fighters' resumes, Tyson Fury, fighting out of England, holds a record of 30 wins and no defeats and 1 draw, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently not ranked by BoxRec in the heavyweight division, and the first of all list his one and only draw. It came by split decision against Deontay Wilder. And now to list some of his best victories, he has a knockout and unanimous decision win over Derek Chisora, a knockout victory over Steve Cunningham, a knockout victory over Christian Hammer, a unanimous decision victory over Vladimir Klitschko, a unanimous decision victory over Otto Wallin, and he's coming off a 7th-round knockout victory over Deontay Wilder in their second fight. And to get into his opponent's resume, Deontay Wilder, fighting out of the United States, holds a record of 42 wins, 1 defeat and 1 draw, with 41 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently not ranked by BoxRec as well in the heavyweight division, and to first of all list his knockout loss and his draw. The draw was a split decision draw, as most of you guys know. As I mentioned before, both came to Tyson Fury. The stoppage loss was brutal and dominant in favor of Fury. And the draw, he did score 2 knockdowns, and he did obviously have some success, but I still thought Wilder lost that fight, and that it should have been a victory for Fury. But now to list some of Deontay Wilder's best victories, he has a knockout and unanimous decision win over Bermane Stiverne. He has a knockout win over Eric Molina, knockout victory over Johan Duhaupas, knockout victory over Artur Spilka, knockout victory over Gerald Washington, a knockout victory over Chris Arreola, a knockout victory over Luis Ortiz twice actually, and he has a first-round knockout victory over Dominic Breazeale. And in my opinion, this fight is going to be in favor of Tyson Fury, the defending world champion. And just before I break down the fight, I just want to talk about both fighters' preparation for this fight, the weigh-in, and their camp. Tyson Fury came into the weigh-in at 277 pounds. Deontay Wilder weighed in at 238 pounds. Both came in heavier than the second and first fights. And both of them have had great camps, it seems like. Fury seems motivated. Deontay Wilder seems extremely motivated as opposed to the second fight. But both had good sparring. Deontay Wilder trained with Robert Helenius, who's a world-ranked heavyweight who's fighting on this card in a big fight, specifically a rematch against Adam Kovnatsky. And for Fury, he's been sparring with 2 undefeated heavyweights who are actually fighting on this card in pretty big fights. Jared Anderson, who's taking up a step up and fighting a undefeated heavyweight, and F.A. Jagba, who's taking on Frank Sanchez in a really, really good fight between 2 unbeaten heavyweights in the rankings. And both of them, as I mentioned before, had great sparring partners, Fury and Wilder. And this fight was actually supposed to happen in July of 2021, but Fury did test positive for COVID-19. Obviously, had to get postponed. And then, there was a whole talk with Wilder, or should I say Fury and Joshua fighting. That fell through because Wilder won his arbitration. And, that meant for a Fury-Wilder trilogy. And now we are here. When it first got announced that they would officially be fighting in a trilogy, I was really bummed. I didn't want to see that fight. I really wanted to see the undisputed showdown between Joshua and Fury at the time. But as the fight is getting closer now between Fury and Wilder in the third fight, I really am intrigued by it, and I'm sort of a bit more interested because this time, Wilder looks a lot more focused. He seems very confident, and he looked tremendous at the weigh-in, might I say. Came in very muscular build. This is definitely the biggest Deontay Wilder I've ever seen when it comes to just being in overall size. He came in with far more muscle than his usual physique. He's usually very, very slim and lengthy. Here he looks like he put on a lot of muscle and trained really hard in camp. But Fury, I mean, he usually comes in with the same body type, non-athletic, but still he moves like a middleweight. But here we weren't able to see his physique considering he had a shirt on. But we'll get to see tomorrow night when they fight. And just to break down that fight, I see Tyson Fury coming forward on Deontay Wilder like he did in the second fight, using his sheer size and weight advantage. Obviously, he's got the height advantage, the reach advantage. He's really got the advantage in everything except power. I mean, Fury obviously has physical power, but when it comes to his size, and he's able to use that on Wilder when they get in the clinch, he's able to use his size and lean on Wilder to possibly get him tired, a little bit more restless, like in the second fight where Wilder was getting a bit frustrated because Fury was leaning on him and he was just dominating him and just bullying him. And I think it's going to be the same. Fury's just going to use his size, come forward, and just dominate Wilder. I just can't see Wilder beating a giant 6'9", 200 nearly 80-pound man who's just coming forward at him, throwing hard shots, fast shots, great footwork, head movement. I just can't see Wilder beating him unless he does land a random power shot that knocks Fury out. I mean, he's dropped Fury twice before and really knocked him out for a couple seconds before Fury got up in the second knockdown in the 12th round of their first fight. But here, I mean, that's going to be a stretch. I think the biggest chance Wilder has to knock Fury out is in the first couple rounds. That's where I see him having the most success, like in the second fight, where Fury did get caught by two straight overhand or straight shots from Wilder that did sort of knock Fury back, but Fury just ate him right after he got hit, got knocked back, as I said before, came back in and just beat up Wilder, and I think he's going to do the same. I think if Wilder does hit Fury clean, or if he does throw a shot that Fury can't really defend with his hands, I think Fury's going to roll with those shots. Maybe he might try and counter, and I just think Fury's just going to overall outsmart Wilder. He's going to come forward, either counter him. I mean, Fury is very versatile, it seems like now. I mean, many people say that he is feather fist, but really when you get to see this new sort of style Fury has with Sugar Hill, I mean, he likes to come forward now. We saw that in the second Wilder fight, and he just dominates and bullies guys with his sheer size, and he's really gifted with that size, 6'9", 280 pounds, and he can really just bully anyone in the heavyweight division. And with that being said, I think Fury is going to stop Deontay Wilder once again, but this time it's going to happen from rounds 8 to rounds 12. So overall, I believe that Tyson Fury will defeat Deontay Wilder for a second straight time by knockout, and this time the stoppage will happen from rounds 8 to rounds 12, and Tyson Fury will successfully defend his WBC heavyweight world title for the first time. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.